This is for the men who make your wives go to work. So I know living in the West is extremely pressurizing. It is very difficult to live here. And with the day and age we live in, like, women's requirements have gone through the roof. And life, generally speaking, its affordability has gone out of our reach. And I do empathize for people who are in these scenarios, and without your partner working, you couldn't even put a roof over your head. But it's a really important factor to note that it is literally promoted that you get 2 jobs over making your wife go out to work. And I know some of you are going to come for me and be like, what, we're humans too, and, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, Islamically speaking, it is your job to provide. Because there's so many complaints right now about women not fulfilling their men's needs. And it is pretty much subscribed and prescribed in our Islamic context how you can get the best out of both worlds. A woman comes into her best alignment when she is provided for and put in a safe space, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And when we go out to work, we answer to a boss. We are under pressure. We have deadlines. That drains us. And then we have nothing left to bring you at home. Especially if you're both working full time. Because then men expect all the house duties and their sexual needs to be fulfilled as well. Whereas women are not robots. If anything, which more and more information is going around. So, look it up, guys. Women are on a 28 to 30-day cycle. Within that cycle, they're maybe 7 to 14 days where they're at their peak performance. After that is premenstrual and then the menstrual stage. And that really exhausts women. And I think a lot of you guys have zero empathy for that. Because I'm telling you now, if you bled from your private parts for 7 days out of the month and it cramped and it hurt, you guys would be hospitalized. You wouldn't even know how to cope. And men work on a 24-hour cycle. So every day they're on the same hormonal cycle. Things are a lot more stable and you are a lot more resilient than we are as women. Women are emotionally resilient, but we can only come to our peak of emotional, spiritual, and sexual enlightenment to really give you the whole version of us when we feel physically, mentally, and emotionally safe. So feeling physically safe means that we're provided for and our home is a safe environment. Our husbands are a source of comfort for us, not a source of stress. Gee, Baba, I'm making a video, Baba. Say Assalamu alaikum to the people then. Itni to aag lagi hui thi. Meow meow. There are plenty of women out there that want to have their own careers, etc., etc. And that's absolutely fine as long as, it's within the correct parameters. But I'm telling you, once you become a wife and then eventually you go on to be a mother, that mental and emotional capacity, it needs to be at home. That is where we strive. And I'm not saying we don't strive in academic spaces and workspaces. Of course we do. But when that pressure is put on us for survival, we don't thrive the same way. Our education gathering is so we can pass on that education to our children. That's my opinion on what that's for. And I'm someone who chased the corporate life. I chased it because I didn't want to be poor. I chased it because I was done with the poverty line of how I grew up. I just didn't want it anymore. And now as I've gotten older, I've realized that will have to take a backseat to a certain extent. Because women bring pleasure, they bring joy, they bring peace, and they bring calm to a home. And if she is not in those spaces herself, how is she supposed to create that? Even when I went to the Awakening tour here with Sahil Adim, he had a talk. And for people who don't know who Sahil Adeem is, he is a Pakistani motivational speaker who's a psychologist and bases his talks on motivating the ummah to do better. Now, we were sitting down and we were having a chat. He was engaging with the audience. And one of the women said, well, we have to work full time too. And his face completely just, he's like, what? And he looked over to the men's section and he was like, you make your women work? He couldn't believe it. And the first thing that came out of his mouth is, go and get 2 jobs, but leave her at home. Leave her at home. And that comes from someone who is in their 40s, grew up in the Pakistani environment and is appropriately educated, not only academically in psychology and corporate workplace, but in our deen. And that man's face dropped when he realized that Muslim men are making their women go out and work. It's just atrocious. Work harder, guys. You are literally built to work. And if you do that and you allow your woman to flourish in the house and pour all her energy into that, you will get those beautifully cooked meals. She will be looking good for you because she's got the time and the space to do it. And because you're providing, she respects you. And when a woman respects you, she respects your actions. She respects your words. She respects the things that you do. Oh my God, she will treat you like a king. Respect is key. And if you don't provide mental, emotional, and physical security, you won't get respect out of your woman. You just won't. She'll switch off. She'll fake it for a while and then she'll slowly move away. And then that's when we have other issues, like I've answered in my other videos, about sex drives not matching and aligning. You know, intimacy going down the drain. You guys don't even go on dates. You know, a lot of men DM me and say, oh, my wife just feels like, you know, a sister to me now. Well, I wonder why. Because the key of making her feel in her ultimate feminine is in your hands. And you don't even know what to do with that power. So, you know, get into it. Men need to be men. Women need to be women. That is my opinion. I'm quite conservative when it comes to things like that. Because I've been on the other side. I've been that girl who's like, don't you dare. My career is my priority. Because that's how the Western world wanted to manipulate your brain. So you also go in the workplace and pay half the taxes. And now I'm in a position where I pay more taxes than probably 2 or 3 men put together. And I'm wondering, why do I do that? Because all it does is benefit the government and provide them more money to fund wars in other countries. You know, our space is not, okay, you're in the home and that's it, you're done, you're finished. It means that if we make our home our priorities and our jobs or academic interests on the side, they can run parallel. Because what are you going to do? Sit at home all day and stare at the sky? That's not appropriate either. But to put the pressure of survival of your household on your woman is disgusting. And जो आदमी मजबूरी से नहीं, जबरदस्ती से अपनी बीवी को बाहर भेज के काम कराता है, लानत है तुम पे भाई, बिल्कुल लानत है.